Coming up, we're running far, 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 far away from this one. Join us as we dissect Psycho Killer. Stay tuned.
Psycho killer, qu'est-ce que c'est?
Welcome to the Morgue, where we dissect the latest and greatest in the world of entertainment. I am your host, Arturo Padilla, and with me always is Mr. Nick Valdez. Before we get started, do not forget to subscribe, hit the like button, and hit that bell. That way you know when these videos are dropping. Tex, how you doing today, buddy?
Oh man, howdy everybody, howdy Arturo. I mean, great song, Talking Heads, shout out to Talking Heads. Psycho Killer is one of those, like, it's classic. Unfortunately, we're in a very different boat here with Psycho Killer. So it hit theaters, and it's one of those things where, like, it's surprising because you see Psycho Killer and you don't really hear much about it, and then all of a sudden it's in theaters. Like, it's one of those movies. Like, it kind of flew under the radar. You might have seen it if you were watching, like, WWE NXT, where there was like a guy dressed like in the Psycho Killer outfit in the crowd, and cool promotions. And you're like, oh, so they have CW money to push it. And it's funny is that I have seen promotions like the week of release. Just if you would have asked me what this movie was beforehand, no idea. Like, I did not know. And the whole thing is like, how did this even get to theaters? Because there's a lot of that question lingering overhead just watching it. And before even jumping into it, it's kind of like, the same writer behind Seven. He did 8mm, a bunch of cool stuff like that from
Sleepy Hollow. He did The Wolfman in 2010 as well. So he has a bunch of real credible movies under his belt. But that was a long time ago. Tex, we're in 2026 right now, and as Tex was mentioning, that we get this movie, which I first found out about when I went to go see Primate back in January. This was a trailer that was attached to it, and I was like, oh, the hell is this? Never heard of it before. But it's probably for good reason. So
here we
the
are.
Trailer itself,
the
trailer itself was actually pretty good. It had all the creepy vibes you could ask for something like this, for a horror movie of this kind of subgenre, the satanic slasher kind of stuff. So you had all the imagery, you had all the blood splatter going on in the trailer, you had all those creepy, scary moments. But honestly, the trailer was pretty much the best thing about this experience, because that didn't translate to the full 90 minutes that we saw in theaters, right, Tex?
Okay, so getting into it, Psycho Killer, it's about a guy named that coined the satanic slasher. He's been on a tear of just killing people throughout the middle America, basically. By the time we get to the events of the movie, it's already been like 30-40 victims on record who have just been blindly killed by this guy. And we add a new victim to that with a police officer and his wife, who is also a fellow police officer. She happens to see it go down, and she sees her husband being shot at like a routine traffic stop, basically. And from then on, she's vowing revenge to, like, take this guy down before he can hurt more people. And you would think that's the movie, right? Like, because that kind of is the story. But this is one of those movies where it's not horror. It is, but it's more the crime thriller of that spectrum. It's not, it's a slasher movie in, like, the loosest sense of that, where
in the spirit of it, because of the body count. But like we were saying before, the writer of this also penned a movie back in the 90s called 8mm, which, if you buddies out there have seen it, it has Nick Cage. It deals with this underworld of BDSM and serial killing and all this other stuff, and snuff films and all that. But like, this movie is as close as possible to that kind of genre, because 8mm is not horror, but because of the underground scene that it deals with and all the nightmarish kind of imagery, it kind of falls in that umbrella. And it's the same thing here with Psycho Killer. It's really a cop thriller, like Tex was saying, because we're following this cop just trying to get her revenge here, trying to follow this killer and trying to just solve this case pretty much. But in
Yeah.
between all that, you're sprinkled with a lot of horror,
Well,
in quotes, horror imagery because of the nature of his killing style, right, Tex?
yeah, that's the thing. Like, so okay, full spoilers from here on out, because we kind of have to talk about Psycho Killer. Like,
Yeah.
we kinda really have to dig into it because Art says, like, you're saying sprinkled, right? Like, you're in between the crime stuff, you're sprinkled in that stuff. That's I don't think that I think that's too kind of a term. I think it's like, so the story, it's a crime thriller, but it really is about the titular psycho killer. Like, it really is all about him. Like, he is the first he is the first character we see in this movie, and he is kind of like he is the main character. Like,
And kind of like the last character that we kind of see as well,
yeah,
in a
yes,
sense.
and this is a very important point, like a point that, yeah, like, it's this guy's movie. It's the satanic slasher. It's his movie. We're watching him go from area to area as he, like, does his thing. And, like, as he's doing his thing, you get the interstitials of the police officer kind of, like, trying to figure out and piece together what he's doing. And at the same time, you're getting, like, news reports and stuff. All, like, there's a lot of that trying to, like, give you information that's very old school in that way, honestly, of, like, having the killer watch his own news report to, like, see what the details are for the audience, that kind of thing. Like, it's one of those things where, like, there's a lot of that. There's a lot of, like, trying to give you context clues of, like, why he's, yeah, painting satanic rituals every time he kills someone and stuff like that. Like, but ultimately, I think what we just have to say outright, Arturo, is just that it's not very interesting. I think I just gotta outright say it. Like, I was not
Yeah.
feeling it. Like,
Listen,
for
I
being
get
a
it.
crime story, it just,
I
like,
definitely get it. I definitely
right?
get it, man. It because Tex, if you guys would like, go check out my Substack under Corpse Feed. I have a full review, a full spoiler-free review on there for you guys to read. And in my review, I go into certain details that the story itself, there's no suspense. You know what I mean? There's no tension. It's
Yeah,
very flat. And this is why it kind of gets boring and stale because the way it's done, it doesn't leave anything to mystery, you know?
yeah,
It doesn't leave us wondering what's gonna happen next or like who this killer is, or it doesn't engage us mentally. It just kind of
yeah,
gives us everything we need to see and know right in front of us very explicitly, but in a very messy kind of way. Because as Tex was mentioning, this movie, even though Georgina Campbell is on the poster, this is not her movie.
yeah. It's
She's very much a supporting character here, but the script loads a lot on her shoulders in order to carry us through this movie because there really isn't much on the in the way of this Reeves character, this satanic killer. Yes, he is a very prominent character here. He's pretty much, you can say, co-lead in this movie. He's given a lot
yeah,
of dialogue, but
a lot of dialogue to the
a
point where
lot too much
he's
dialogue,
this dude is talking like
too
like,
much off-putting
yeah,
dialogue. Yeah,
yeah,
he's talking too much. And for something that, we want to be immersed in this mystery, in this kind of not really a mystery because we know who he is,
that's the
but
thing too. Like, what, and
we want to
that's,
try and be immersed somehow with
yeah,
Georgina Campbell's
yes,
character, right? Trooper
yes,
Archer's
because
character
that is
with her
exactly it.
adventure. But
Yeah,
it's so hard to connect with her because of the screen time that these two have to share. But it leans more towards the psycho killer, and that's a huge detriment because it's like, hey,
yeah, yeah,
you
because
literally
it's,
have like a real
yes,
actress here in Georgina Campbell that can pull off whatever emotional beats you need her to pull off. The gentleman who plays the satanic killer, his name is James Preston Rogers. If you look at his IMDb, he's been in a lot of stuff, which is great for him, but he has never led anything, and he's never been in a role this prominent. I
I
did my
know.
research, folks. I did
Unfortunately,
research.
yeah,
All right,
yeah. Unfortunately, yeah, you do feel it. Like, that's the thing. You do feel it with this. Like,
he's a stunt guy. Like it's like
yeah, like he
he's
looks good. as
listen, he looks great, but that's what,
aesthetically, right?
yes,
Like just
aesthetically, that is one of the best parts of this movie. The guy cuts an awesome silhouette for
yeah.
a crazy killer. The
And
mask is fun too, honestly.
cool mask design,
Yeah.
cool like that.
But even that tech, even that,
I
like I wish we would have gotten a little bit more less like scenes with him in
well,
complete daylight with
yeah,
the mask
see,
on and everything.
that's the thing too. Like, it's a cool design. He's got his mask on. He's got his long hair. He's got his coat. And when you see it at night, it looks sick. And then you're
Yes.
like, okay, you get everything you want out of like a killer shape. But then he starts talking, and I thought
And
it
then
was
the bell rang, right?
yes, I thought it was like a voice changer in the mask, because the mask is kind of like you get like close up looks at it, and it's kind of like got some tech on it.
It's very
It's got like
Bane-esque. Yeah.
yeah, it's got like a mouth thing on it. So you're like, oh, okay, maybe he's got like a voice changer that he uses, right? Because it's like this deep voice, and like it sounds a little funky. So I don't know if it's the actor's voice
It's
or if it's
not.
something
I
that they
checked.
do, yeah, that they do with it in production to like make it sound this way. And so it sounds off kilter. And the whole time I'm like, okay, maybe it's when he's talking through his mask that does it. But no, like this happens when he's just speaking regularly. Like the first scene we see of him is without the mask. And that's the thing, like this is what ultimately comes back to my biggest issue, like with Arturo was saying, like you want something to invest in, but it's also like, well, what? Like
Yeah.
it's the cat and mouse hunt between Georgina Campbell and this guy isn't compelling. I'm sorry, it's not. Like it's not well done, because we don't get enough of her to warrant it, really. Like we get some details about her, like, oh, she finds out she's pregnant during all this. You get like that kind of stuff to
Which should
elevate it.
add another layer, like you'd think, of emotional, like,
Yeah, you think it would do something, right? Like
yeah.
you think it would ultimately matter, right? But no, we spend so many scenes with this guy, and then there's like a weird detour in the middle of like because so okay, like his whole thing is he's a Satanist, and he's trying to do all this stuff to as like this ultimate tribute to Satan by like a certain point. And so he seeks out other Satanists, and there's this whole intricate world that they have with like newspaper ads and stuff like that they only communicate through. Cool idea, where it's like, oh, okay, cool little piece of world building on paper, right? And goes this place, it's Malcolm McDowell. You're like, oh, hey, Malcolm McDowell. And then the guy decides to kill them all because they're not proper Satanists. And on paper, cool idea for a killer character. You're giving him something, right? You're giving him a sense of morality that, like, oh, he's not just randomly killing people he comes across. He just happens to do that, but he also has a code, right? And he's like, he also has a code of who he will kill and who he will not
It's like,
kill.
yeah, he just happens to kill random people, like that couple on the road that was trying
Yeah.
to change a tire.
But then he also has standards, right? And it's a funny thing to bring up, because while I'm trying to compliment it, Arturo just poked a huge hole in that, where it's like, oh, okay, yeah, he's got a code, but then he'll just kill random people just cuz. And then like there's a weird detour, and and it leads to like a massacre where we finally get some on-screen kills, and you're like, okay, maybe it was worth it. They were kind of meh, right? Like they were
Yeah,
whack.
kind of mad. Like I also wrote this in my review, full of CGI blood.
Yeah,
And then on
kind
top of that, you add slow motion to it to accentuate the CGI, which is
yeah,
like, no, what are you doing?
yeah. It's slow motion, it's CGI, and I'm not a prude, so I won't usually say this is like a critique, but kind of like unnecessary nudity too. Like it's like
Yeah.
really, like it's like it didn't really add anything to the scene,
Yeah,
or
it's
like
because like, yeah, like
make
the
it
nudity
particular.
comes in because there's like a mock black mass done at that mansion where
Yeah,
Malcolm McDowell resides.
it's a real
And
like Satanist cult orgy thing, right? And it's
yeah,
trying to
not
be
my
like,
favorite either. It's
and
very gratuitous, unnecessary stuff.
it really is unnecessary, because you're like, okay, well, at least it'll result in like something brutal, right? To like really amp up the brutality of the kills, because it's nudity and horror go hand in hand. It's fine, we all get it. But here it's one of those things where it's like, because the massacre wasn't so good, you're like, well, then why
And
did they
then
need to be naked? You
Dude,
know,
and then
it's
on top of that, like, you had this one, like, a naked guy just running away from him, looking absolutely like a Benny Hill kind of, like,
yeah,
sequence
it was
because
just it's
the
super
actors were
weird.
just terrible, by the way. Like, again,
Yeah,
I have to say this. The supporting cast was absolutely dreadful in every
God,
way. Like, there
every
was no
way.
support. This is why Georgina Campbell had to do so much lifting, and this is why they allowed James Preston Rogers to do so much as well, because they didn't have anybody else to depend on. So you have this crazy like scene here, and you have a slew of extras. I'm going to call them extras because they weren't actors, right?
Yeah, it
And it
was
just looked absolutely terrible,
it's
terrible.
terrible. It was terrible. It's bad. It was not good. There are just so many, and the thing too, right, is like you know, as someone who like spent the time to watch this movie, it's like I do want to find the good things here, and it's like yeah, and I do want to I do want to compliment like when the movie does well, but then there are so many ideas that just do not work. They're
Yeah.
just like you get to the climax of this movie, okay, and like full spoilers from here on out. Once more, I think we can like I think we can like even start like the official review, like giving it the official score here at the morgue for it, because it's like uh it's such like a okay. I'm gonna spoil my thing. All right, so okay, so the way we do
Yes,
things
folks,
here at
it's
the
that
morgue,
bad that we are at a loss for words here
yeah, it's
because
like because
it's like because we went. This is the problem, and this is why we here at the morgue do the work for you. All right, invested 90
yeah,
plus minutes in a movie theater to really critically see this movie, and
yeah. This is
and
it's
see
the
what was up with it. And then on top of
yeah,
that, I spent a couple more hours writing a review and doing my research to make sure all my T's were crossed and I's were dotted because
right.
I was like, who's involved in this movie and why am I here sitting at the theater right now? Right.
Well,
So
yes.
it's just so much
Well,
and
that's what I mean. Like
so disappointing.
it's yeah, like, and that's why like the way we do things here at the morgue, we have our scale of pay for it, which is go out to the theaters to see it on their streaming service as soon as you can. Soon as you can, like it's one of those things. Just pay for it in some way and go in and check it out. Wait for it. You're fine waiting it out till whenever you can see it when it's most convenient to you, when it's maybe freer or much cheaper. You'll be fine, but just check it out. Then there's stay away from it, which is it's usually self-explanatory, but I feel like because we're saying this here, like I have to outright say, like this is the first stay away from it of the year. This is a straight up. This is why it's like to even get into the climax and fully spoil this thing. I just have to outright say it. Like, is Psycho Killer is a total stay away from it. I don't think you're missing out on anything by missing it. In fact, we're going to get into the ending here, why it doesn't work. But first, I'll pass it to you, Arturo. What do you think? Pay for it,
Yeah,
wait for it, or stay away from it?
I mean, I've destroyed this movie all morning. But here I definitely have to just say one thing before I completely just blow this up. And it's this one particular scene that was just very promising. That I think was what they should have kept doing and what the essence of this killer actually was. It was a very awesome scene in a confessional booth. And
Right.
it's the only practical effects I've seen in this entire movie. And it was absolutely awesome. If you guys are watching on YouTube, there's a specific scene in this church, and there's a picture of it right there on your screens where he's in a confessional booth and he has this sharpened rod that is just he just spent all night sharpening it while watching the news. We see the
Yeah.
previous scene. And then he just kind of just jabs this thing into a priest's neck. And what happens next, Tex? This
He drinks
guy
his blood. Drinks
drinks
his
about a
blood.
gallon of priest neck
Yeah.
blood.
Cool.
And
Like once again, like
that
Arturo saying, cool ass idea.
legit was
But
like, whoa, where did this come from? Because
and where
like
was that? Right?
this
It's
is
like where
exactly what I was expecting. And
yes.
unfortunately, for everyone involved here, this movie is very far from that scene. And this is why it is a total stay away from it. I thought about maybe saying wait for it because of that specific scene alone, but I'm pretty sure you can find that on YouTube in
No,
the coming months.
yeah,
You
it'll be
literally have to waste
no.
no time watching this movie, man. That's how disappointing it is, because
yes,
we walked into it thinking like, oh, this is going to be interesting, maybe a violent nature kind of interesting here, where we see a different perspective.
Yeah,
but
right, like,
yeah,
it's so funny, like, comparing the two, right? Because we also bagged on a violent nature, you know, maybe unfairly now that I'm like looking at Psycho Killer, right? I'm like, hey, maybe violent nature wasn't so bad, because you see a perspective with that, right? And you're
yes,
like, at
exactly.
least there's an
There's an
idea there.
angle there. Exactly.
Yes,
There's an
there's
actual like angle. It's like,
yes.
hey, folks, this is the way that you're supposed to be looking at this movie, through the
Yeah,
eyes of this killer here.
yes,
But
but
here,
with here, okay, so let's get into this climax real quick.
oh my
Fi
God,
Yeah,
yes.
so okay, so the end of this movie, his grand plan is revealed to be that he's gonna blow up 3 Mile Island. So yeah, that's kind of like, it's one of those things where you
Things
hear it,
escalated rather quickly.
yes, because it's funny because it's set up earlier in the movie, like he stole from the library, and they're like, what did he need from the library? All he took were the encyclopedias for N and T, because he doesn't use the internet. And so like they literally show him looking up nuclear power and 3 Mile Island in the two encyclopedias he stole, to like figure out that they're nuclear. And then he's like, he's got dynamite that he also stole, and his plan was to blow up 3 Mile Island and open the gates of hell. This is what his whole thing was. And like, that sounds like a goofy and fun idea, right? Because you're like, me saying this, even as a full spoiler and telling you to stay away from it, I bet there's a part of you buddies at home that's like, oh, yeah, you're like, hey, that sounds kind of stupid enough to be fun, right? No,
Yes.
it's trust us when we say it's just
Not.
stupid. Yeah, it's just stupid, right? Like, it's not stupid fun.
Stupid, and also it came out of nowhere. Like,
Yeah,
all of
yeah.
a sudden, we're here with a trail of 30 some odd bodies all throughout the United States, starting from Nevada and working its way up north towards
FBI
Wisconsin
can't
or
catch
something.
him, you know,
FBI
like
can't catch him, right? Like, but then all of a sudden, we're going from mass killings to like a legit terrorist plot.
yeah, yes.
To create a nuclear meltdown in
It's real
in
Saturday morning
Pennsylvania.
cartoons. It's real
Yeah,
like, I'm gonna blow up Mr. Burns's plant, you know, like it's literally like it does come out of nowhere, because then at the same time we get this information about this guy named Reeves, who was like a mass killer years ago, who like died. But then this guy turns out to be him. And the whole time it's like, oh, okay, maybe they're teasing that he's like a worshiper of the guy. No, it's the guy who somehow survived and broke out of prison, and then like is gonna blow up the nuclear plant. And then they stop him right before, but he also doesn't die. So the last scene of the movie is him going to jail, and then like a guy saying something, and it cuts him off like mid-sentence almost. Like, it's really, dude, it's just, God, it's just
it
bad,
gets so
man.
messy at that ending, man.
Yeah,
It
it's
really
just,
gets real
it's
messy
not
in the
even,
end.
yeah. And once again, I know, buddies. I know you're sitting here, you're watching us, you're listening to this, and you're like, I gotta see this. No, you don't.
No. And on top
No.
of that, too, like, we get like a lot of faux horror here.
Yeah.
There's quote unquote, a massive body count in this movie, but we don't get any of that. We get a lot of it through police reports and news reports and police pictures and evidence pictures and stuff like that,
Yeah,
which is like, okay, why don't you just show me him dismembering somebody, just to
yeah,
make your point, or do it in flashbacks. Again, Tex, like, they want to recreate 7 and 8mm with
yeah.
this,
They
and it
wanted
doesn't come
a crime
close.
thriller. They wanted to create the next big, like, oh,
Edgy, dark,
yeah,
crime thriller.
the
Yeah.
satanic slasher. Oh
Nah,
man,
man.
no,
No, dude.
this is bad, and it's so dated too. Like, there's nothing wrong with feeling dated, but it's like, when you get your 10th news report giving you exposition, you're like, all right, When you're getting the FBI going, "Hey toots," it's basically
Yeah.
that vibe of like no
Yeah,
one
and then
believes her, and it's just
which
like,
is
well, you
wild
don't know what you're
because, like,
talking about.
she pretty much
Yeah.
solved it immediately. She's like, "Hey, there was, this mass killing, 13 something years ago,
Yeah,
and it could be the same thing." And FBI was like, "You know what you're talking about. Get out of here. Stay in
yeah,
your
the
lane."
FBI is like, "Oh, we've already looked into all that." And it's like, well, you
Like,
didn't look hard
are
enough,
you
I
sure?
guess.
Because the evidence was pretty clear when, when Trooper Archer, as the FBI calls her, discovers everything.
It's so many of those scenes too, where it's like they don't believe women, and it's like it's really like, all right, man, like it's just you gotta do better. Like it's
But, like, you
just
see,
this
like,
is
again,
this is
it just it
2026, dude. You gotta
it
you gotta
hurts
do
my
better.
mind, Tex. It
You
hurts my
gotta you
mind
gotta
because,
be better.
like, if they wanted to do a slow burn, they could have, because they have the
Yeah.
actress for that with Georgina Campbell. She's very talented,
She
and her
she seemed
and
talented. She
yeah,
seemed
and she has
talented
a
in what
a
we
broad
got.
range, right?
Yeah.
And, like, if they wanted to do a more slower tone, a slower paced movie, like, oh my god, it's this woman who just lost her husband.
Yeah,
She
if it were
she's trailing this guy, and in the middle of trailing this guy, also finds out that she's pregnant with,
yeah,
with her
true
husband's
if it
kid, and
were a true cat and mouse movie, right?
yes,
Like if it
yes,
were just a
dude.
one-on-one and we'd focus on her and every now and again we'd see him kill somebody else because she's too slow or
Yeah,
something. And
exactly.
but
Exactly.
no, like
Just
it's
getting
just
just getting to his next location at, like, right after he leaves. You know what I mean? Like, but no,
yes.
it becomes a really, like, face-to-face confrontational cat and mouse game here where, like, there is no cat and mouse, right? Because
Yeah,
she knows
they
exactly where he's
outright
going all the time.
they fight like twice in the movie before the final
Yes.
confrontation too. And it's like,
Yes.
come on, come God, like
Yeah, it's frustrating.
yes, it's
I told you, this is
frustrating.
why I told you off air, Text. I'm like, "Hey, don't get me started again. I'm gonna get mad again."
Yeah, let's okay,
But
buddies,
wait for
we
the
gotta
show to get mad.
yeah, we gotta cap this off here because there's so much more. And I know you're like once again, you're probably listening to this, and there's a part of you that's like, I gotta see what they're talking about.
No,
And
you don't.
God, I mean, God help you if you do, it's but our official recommendation is stay away from this thing.
Yeah.
Go watch Seven, go watch 8 millimeter. Usually not a case where I would ever say watch those movies because those are very specific, right? It's like
Yeah.
you can't really watch Seven now because of Kevin Spacey stuff. You can't really watch 8 millimeter because it's like, well, 8 millimeter is not a movie that you really rewatch, right? It's
Yeah,
like
it's not
if you
unless
if you
you're
haven't
Arturo.
seen it, like go see it to like fulfill your
It's a good movie though, man. But
yeah,
again,
but yes,
8 millimeter is exactly what this movie wanted to do. It wanted to
yeah,
embody that creepiness of of
yes.
this underground, dark webbish, satanic BDSM looking killer kind of guy, but falls flat on its
Yeah.
freaking face, folks. So, buddies, please do not waste your time on this. Stay at home, watch Seven,
Please
watch 8 millimeter. Heck, there's some other movies you can. I think Prime's
listen.
streaming now on
I
Prime.
mean,
Go watch that.
listen to the Psycho Killer song instead from top.
Oh
Like,
yeah, go listen to some Talking Heads. All right,
yeah,
but
I'm sure
whatever
there's
you
that
do,
Talking Heads documentary streaming somewhere or
yeah,
something.
whatever you
Like,
do, just stay away from this movie, buddies. And thank you so much for listening and for watching. This is The Morgue, where we dissect the latest and greatest in the world of entertainment. I am your host, Arturo Padilla, and with me always is Mr. Nick Valdez. A big shout out goes to you guys out there for watching and for listening. We really appreciate it. Do not forget, you can catch all these episodes on YouTube and as well as anywhere you can catch your podcast streams. Don't forget as well, big shout out goes to Mr. Delvirus for all the artwork you've seen in front of you. Go check him out on his Instagram. He's doing great work out there. And last but not least, buddies, always remember it is a scary world out there, but we are here to walk you through it.